again. So, I wanted to talk about something extremely personal with me. I okay. You know how many people have like problems with eating, and a few people, maybe the odd person, has an eating disorder that they can't control. Well, that's exactly what I have. Only mine is a lot more severe. You know, like most common eating disorders are like people that can't eat enough. Like their brains just can't seem to get hungry. Well, my brain can't seem to stay full. Like, for example, it's like a person that's being held hostage, and they get deprived of food for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. You know, that's what it's like with me. Even though I had just already eaten for like 4 or 5 minutes ago, when I was in grade 2, which is like really small. I was starting with like grade 1. I was fine. I was very slim. You know, I was eating a lot healthier. And then when I was in grade 2, went into school, I was fine. Nothing was wrong. And then all of a sudden, I do remember sitting there and just like, and then all of a sudden just like feeling really feeling starving, like literally starving. So I went home that night, and yeah, that was that. And ever since I grew up, ever since I was in grade 2, from like in my late 20s, I had lived with starvation. I was constantly hungry, and I don't know what caused it. I really don't. Like, I don't know what caused that. I mean, like, there's a lot of people that may not agree with me, and it may sound crazy, and, you know, coming out of my mouth, it does sound crazy. Like, to the person who, because majority of the people who are like that are often, they choose to do that. They bring it on themselves. They choose to eat, right, from eating unhealthy things. So their brain tells their body that they need to eat more, and that they go into starvation mode, right? And who knows, they may develop an eating disorder like that, where they just can't seem to feel full, right? No matter how unhealthy or how healthy they eat, right? So, and so, but with me, I don't know what brought that on. I don't know what the heck happened. I have no idea. So, and there was many different people, like even my support workers at the last group home that I went to, thought that I brought it on myself to have that problem. They thought that I just chose to do that. They didn't believe me. Even my first psychiatrist, it took him like quite a few months, actually, I think like maybe a year or two, to actually take it seriously, because there's a lot of people that bring that disorder on themselves, and for whatever reason, maybe there's abuse and that's their way of dealing with it. It's just binge eating or bullying at school. But with me, I don't know what brought it on. I don't know what brought it on myself. And I know it seems crazy, and I feel very weird, and I feel very nuts saying that. I can't control it, because there's a lot of people that say that, but I'm like those other people. I don't know what caused my problem. I don't know what caused my eating problem, because, and it's very sad, and yeah, um, I just, that's why I have to take Ozempic and Vyvanse. Vyvanse is the very first medication that I got for that problem. You know, when my psychiatrist finally figured out that, okay, I wasn't faking it. We had to tell him and tell him and tell him. It's like, okay, obviously you're not faking it, okay? We have to put her on something to see what happens. So they did. Worked for maybe a couple of years, maybe a few years. And then all of a sudden it stopped working as good as it was. Cause and then he upped the dose, and it made me so, I don't know, so relaxed, and in my head I couldn't really do anything. I was just like that, not really worth it, not really with it. I didn't have any kind of emotion in me. I felt like I was a zombie. I literally looked like I was a zombie too. So when I moved to Tuasaga Beach, it was a family doctor here that now I see. Her name is Dr. Oh, I shouldn't really say her name, but and I won't. But she's the one who prescribed me with Ozempic. She's the one who suggested Ozempic. And let me tell you, oh my freaking God, that's the best thing since cheesecake was invented. You might think, well, why am I saying that? It's because cheesecake is my all-time favorite dessert. Out of all the desserts, if they have cheesecake, that's the first thing I'm going for. And then the opposite way, Ozempic has been my life savior. Instead of staying full at most for 30 minutes, and because I used to be out in public, right? And I used to, get hungry again in 30, 40 minutes. And we'd be in the middle of shopping, and I would have to ask my mom if I can go and get something to eat. So I would really be bothering her. And, there's one point in time where I just got fed up living with it, and I started to bawl my eyes out. There was a couple times where I literally started bawling my eyes out because, I just couldn't handle it anymore. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why I was going through this issue, and I just felt like I wasn't being heard because nobody at the group home would believe me, right? And in a way, you can't blame them because there's so many people that say they can't help it, but they really brought it on themselves. So in a way, the eating disorders, probably different kind of eating disorders, are brought on by the individual themselves. Majority of people, but there's a very few people that probably had food withheld from them forcefully. People that have been abused might have that problem because they were so deprived of food that they just their brains just don't feel full. Their brain can't register, even though they might be okay in the future, and they might be able to eat. Their brain might not be able to register that they have food in their body because they've been deprived of that for a long time. So that can also be developed. But I never had that problem. People never withheld food from me. So I don't know what caused that in my situation. So, and I just hope that maybe one day, maybe if I'm only doing this video because I thought it was important to talk about it. Maybe it might be a little bit too personal to other people, but if other people can encourage maybe going on social media talking about it, maybe then it will get more recognition, you know? Because I can't see that I'm the only one who's struggling with this right now. Like I said, the majority of the people probably brought it on themselves, or probably, and very few, the odd time, majority of them, yes, they brought it on themselves by constantly eating, and maybe like 50 or 60% of them maybe got deprived of their food forcefully and they have no control over that because they're constantly, you know, like Ruby Frankie, you know, she withheld food from her kids, you know, and so if they grow up with an eating disorder, even if they have food, I can see why their brain wouldn't register that as full, right? I can see why they would become that problem, but not myself. So, and I know it sounds crazy, and it probably is crazy. I know I feel crazy by saying it, and I don't expect people to believe me when I say it, because I know there's a lot of people that don't, because other people have, you know, like brought on themselves. Majority of the people that say that they can't feel full and they can't stop eating. Well, it's like, well, duh, you're in a McDonald's or you're in a restaurant eating a crap load of donuts or something, you know, eating donuts, you know, like on a daily basis, right? Like I only go to eat donuts like every once in a while from a coffee shop here called Tim Hortons, right? There's a coffee shop in Canada called Tim Hortons. I only go and eat donuts there only on occasions, and I don't go there every day, or maybe two times a week or something. So, but I would have if it wasn't for the Olympic, right? Because I used to be able to go there. I used to go there every day and eat 10-pack of donuts, and that still wasn't done. I was still wanting more. So, but that's what I go through. It. I don't understand what caused that for me. But if very few people out there have this problem, speak up. Okay? There's no harm in telling the public what the heck is going on with you, right? Because the more you put on YouTube, the more you put yourself out there, more personal stuff, the more people are able to hear you and understand that you are out there, right? And I'm not just doing this video just for me, you know, I'm doing this video to have people to speak up if they have a problem, you know, whether you're being abused or whether somebody is literally taking away your right to eat, you know, it's always good to speak up and say what something, you know, because that's not right, that's not fair, you know, and it makes it hard for people like me to be taken seriously because of the people that possibly can control it, but either they choose to eat unhealthy or they get their food taken from them. Like you go to a restaurant and it's like, well, they're not allowed to have like a full-size pizza like their brother and sister are. Instead, they only get to have like one to two slice. Well, that wouldn't be appropriate. That would be withholding food from somebody. Like, you know, you go to Boston Pizza and it's like you order like a small pizza to yourself, and your parents are only saying, do you know you can't have the whole pizza? You have to have like 1 or 2 slices. Well, that's against the human right. You can't do that. So, of course that person is gonna go, of course that person's brain is all of a sudden possibly not gonna realize it's full, right? Like, even if they, even if child protective services come in and take them and they do have food, sometimes, you know, those people, sometimes those people end up having that problem, even if they go into a place where they do eat regularly. They, you gotta think they always have that problem because, that's something that was no fault of their own, of course, but, and I know it's something no fault of my own, but I had food. Like I said, I had food. I was getting fed by my family. I could eat, and I did eat dinner, and I did eat snacks. I did eat very healthy. I was a very healthy weight person. I was just very slim at one point. So I don't know what caused my eating disorder. I was just sitting there and all of a sudden I just felt starving. I don't know why. It just happened. And I had no control over it. I had to live in my late 20s like that. And it wasn't very fun. It wasn't very fun at all. And I would never wish that on anybody. I would never, ever, 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 ever wish that on anybody. And whether your brain can't feel full because you're literally starving, or whether it's something more sinister and you don't really know what caused it, like you don't really have anything going on what caused it, I didn't, I will always stand up for them people because they need to be heard, they need to be taken seriously. And yeah, like I said, I'm on those Epic now, best thing ever. So if you ever need something to help you feel full for longer, take Ozempic. I'm telling you, it's a life savior. As long as you're not type 1 diabetic, because that's what it says. It's not for type 1 diabetes, but it does prevent, because it's a diabetes medication, but it also helps with people that have weight gain and that, and millions of people take it, and they say it works wonders. So for those of you who haven't taken it yet, I would say go for it, as long as you're not type 1 diabetic. Because, or if you have other issues. If you have other issues and you're not too sure if you can take it or not, maybe ask your doctor. But millions of people are taking it around the world, so yeah. You're gonna start to see soon that the obesity level is gonna go right down. And people that do have eating problems that they don't know what caused it, they'll be taken more seriously because of the obesity going down, and it works so wonders, I don't know who had the idea of inventing something like that, but if I can give them a big hug and a big kiss, I would honestly kiss them all over. I would literally get down on my hands and knees. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, people. Thank you so much. And I'll go on the floor and I'll kiss their feet, That's really what I would do. Like the, thank you so much, Your Majesty, and then I would go down on the floor and kiss their feet, You saved my life. You saved my life,